Hello, my name is April Anue Shipp, and I am a quilt maker and figurative sculptor living and working here in Michigan. I'm so excited to share this work with you today. This piece is entitled This Far by Faith, and it is a story of the over 6 million African American men, women, and children who made the trek from the South to the North. So on this quilt, I have at the bottom of the quilt represents her past life. And we see there is a sharecropper's cabin. We see that there is a family with their truck or their car packed and ready to go on the road. I also included in the bottom of this quilt flying geese. And if you know about history of the Underground Railroad, flying geese was one of the patterns that was used on that trek as well. So I tried to correlate the two treks together. I have train tracks because many of the folks who left the South left via train coming to the North. And then I have, of course, a burning church. We know of the terrible terrorism that was inflicted upon African Americans living in the South. Church burnings, cross burnings, lynchings, murders, castrations, rapes, all those things she's leaving behind. I also have on there, on the trek when they would come north, because they weren't allowed to eat food or purchase food on the trains, they would bring their own food. And so I have what they would pack as a shoebox. And in the shoebox, they put fried chicken and boiled eggs. And so I put that on the quilt as well at the bottom. Also, at the bottom of the quilt, you'll find things they were leaving. Black codes, Jim Crow, the KKK, poll tax. And I put on there a small copy or a copy of the Negro Motorist Travel Guide Green Book, because on the road coming north, you weren't able to stay in a lot of the hotels that were segregated. You have to find one that would allow you to stay there. And this book, you could find restaurants, hotels, places to lodge on your way coming north. That's on there also. I have a red line running just beneath her feet, which symbolizes the Mason-Dixon line. So freedom for the African Americans who were leaving the South would have been, coming north, would have been that Mason-Dixon line coming up to the northern part of the country. If you look at the quilt, you can see that they're the names of the cities where African Americans fled to. My grandfather also took this trek. When he left Montgomery, Alabama, his name was Todd McQueen. When he came to Detroit to find a job with his family, he changed his name to Tadard Pasha. He also made the trek north. Also, on this piece, I chose to use green fabric to back the names of the cities, because green means go. And so they left the South, coming north and going to those cities. My character's name is Eulela, and she has the hope of coming north. I put her in a bright yellow dress. Now, when I was growing up, I remember that we had a hard time finding stockings to match our skin tone. So I kind of gave her off-colored stockings, as we couldn't find our proper color of pantyhose back in the day. So poor Eulela is wearing this off-colored stocking, but she's beautiful nonetheless. She has on her Sunday best with her lace gloves, her black bag, and her hat. I love working with dimension when I create my quilts. And so on this quilt, on Eulela's dress, if you look closely, you can see that her sleeves are three-dimensional, as are the box pleats in the bottom of her skirt. I like that dimension. And actually, Eulela's dress has a working pocket. I actually assembled the dress first. I made an actual dress, and then I laid it flat to make it into this on this quilt, because I wanted her to have this really pretty yellow dress. So that's what I did for her dress. So it's three-dimensional. She's got pleats in the front and the bottom, and she has these poofy yellow sleeves. And the dress I actually copied from a photograph that I saw of my favorite female sculptor. Her name is Augustus Savage from the 1940s, and I found her wearing a similar dress. So I borrowed Miss Savage's dress for Eulalah's dress on this piece. And there's hope in her eyes. There's hope for the future in her eyes. She's hoping for new opportunities, new jobs. She's hoping for a better life than what she's leaving behind. I put a beautiful blue background symbolizing the hope of new things, the hope of new life, the hope of feeling free, the hope of peace behind her. And she's standing on concrete, on solid ground, with grass that is greener behind her feet. This is my quilt, This Far by Faith, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.